done this morning be pleasing in thy sight. Father, forgive us for our sins, oh Father. And just remember, Father, all of the storms and the death and all these type things that are going on. We realize that makes life what it is. But help us to continue to look to you, Father, for all our guidance and direction. We pray all these blessings in Jesus' name. I pray. Let every heart say amen, amen, amen.
Amen, amen. Thank you, Supervisor Trainer. Those words of encouragement. Next on our agenda, we have our citizens' comment period. This is a period where any citizen can come before the board for up to 3 minutes and express your concerns. That being said, we're now open for citizens' comment. Good morning, Mr. Turner.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The NACP, we have ran across a list of these hate groups that was pardoned, and I have a list, and I'm going to leave with the secretary, and you need to get a list of the hate groups. One of them shootout with the police. He lost, but these people, we don't know where they are. And I'm going to leave for y'all to take. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. Need a motion to acknowledge.
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Williams. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Is there anybody else that? Yes. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you all?
Doing great.
Doing good.
My name is Minnie Fox.
Welcome, Ms.
I live in the Blackjack community on 188 Sun Road.
Yes, ma'am.
My road has been on that list for over 4 years. I would like to know, and I noticed you all got the equipment to start. I would like to know when you all gonna get started on these roads, especially my road. I didn't want to say nothing at the other meeting because you and Mrs. Little was the only supervisors here. I don't like talking on the phone. I like to look at a person and talk to them face to face.
Ms. Fox's road lives on the 4-year road plan. And Mr. Collins, someone might want to speak to that, but I know the weather is not suitable now to get started. But I certainly hope we'll keep Ms. Fox's road in mind.
I'll be greatly appreciated.
Okay.
Thank you.
If Mr. Collins, someone else wants to speak to it, they can, but that's the way it is on the 4-year road plan. It's on the 4-year road plan.
Thank you, Ms. Fox. Need a motion to acknowledge. Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little. Any other questions? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes unanimously. We're still open for citizens' comment. If there be another, if not, we'll close this portion.
No, so we got one more citizen.
Okay. Good morning.
Sorry for the slowness. He was here, but he was leaving the kitchen. I'm here primarily concerning the
Would you state your name?
Ross Williams,
Yes, sir, Mr. Williams.
citizen of District 5, Ward 7 of Starville. It has come to my attention that a decision has not been made concerning returning the Needmore voting precinct back to the Needmore Center, and I'm certainly here to endorse it. Our church had sent a letter of recommendation allowing our parking lot to be used during the polling time, as it was in the previous time that it was located at the Needmore Community Center. This is Mr. Lala Evans. Now, he actually lives there. I don't live in that voting precinct, although I'm in District 5. But he actually lives there, big promoter of Needmore. And my concern, other than, I guess, the concern of parking, is that our community seems to be too reliant on MSU for anything, whether it's for sending Starville High School over there or sending a voting place over there. And MSU is becoming increasingly inaccessible. 25 years ago, I could take my toddler out there to feed ducks at Icky Pond. Now the actual roadblocks to doing that, because they arms sticking out that prevent you from even going around the MSU campus. So it's very inconvenient to have anything concerning Starville or Timmel County on the MSU campus. And I'm here to voice my displeasure in any efforts for that.
Mr. Evans, would you like that?
Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Evans.
All right. As I say, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm just here to listen and try to learn what I can about what's still going on. This is my purpose, just to be here. So if I can find a seat and sit down and listen, thank you.
Well, thank you so much for coming. Can we get a motion to acknowledge Mr. Williams or Mr. Evans?
Okay.
Motion by Supervisor Little, second by Supervisor Williams. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
because there have been so many citizens that have request that the Gillespie Street Center move back off campus to Gillespie Street. And all the citizens that I talk to want that to happen, that they start back voting at the Gillespie Street Center. And with that in mind, I'm gonna motion that we move forward. Communication has already been taking place with the church, and that church have allowed us parking access to their parking lot. And communication has been discussed with the mayor also. So with all that in mind, I'm gonna motion that we move forward with moving that center back to Gillespie Street and move it off the campus. Move it off the campus and back to Gillespie Street.
Second.
That's my motion.
Discussion. Where does our circuit clerk come in with this? I mean, that's where elections run through.
The only question that I've received from the circuit clerk is who gonna pay for the expense for the postage. And of course, postage has to be paid for, it's be paid for all the time to let the citizens know that the center has been moved. So, this is not the first time that postage has been paid for. And that has been the concern of circuit clerk, is who's gonna pay for the postage. That doesn't seem to be a big concern to me because centers are being moved all the time. Voting precincts is being moved all the time. Our comptroller is here. You might want to elaborate on that in terms of how the expense being taken care of in the past about postage.
They're budgeted for that postage in elections. This is not a problem.
I've got a question.
Is this supposed to-
Is this to announce where the voting precinct is to?
Right.
Okay.
For the
I'm
citizens.
making sure I'm keeping up with where we are.
And I think, because I think we've got another request coming down the agenda, but just, there's a process of notifying all the voters that vote at that precinct, through mail outs and things of that nature.
Do we have plenty of time to get notification out? Would be from a legal standpoint, my only question.
Not for this one.
Not for this one?
Not for this
I
one.
don't think you have enough time to get the primary in a month, less, 2 weeks.
So,
No, not for
You
this.
can't do
Not
this
for the
election.
city election.
Yeah.
this would be merely a suggestion. I'm not telling you what to do, but my suggestion would be, that motion, go ahead and take your motion, but have that motion be in effect for the following election cycle?
Yes.
Not this election cycle, so that it gives us time to figure out what we need to do.
That's right.
Yeah, and yeah, that's what, yeah, what is, yeah, that was my only thing, was like, how, I mean, why was it moved and gotta be moved back? I mean,
That is a good question.
I don't under,
Well, there was a construction concern. They would be remodeling, the Gillespie Street and the Nemo Center was being remodeled. So we had to move it on campus. And ever since it's been moved out there, citizens have been complaining about, traffic flow and getting back and forward to the voting precinct on campus. All the citizens I talked to wanted moved back to Gillespie Street. But it was a construction issue. It was remodeling, the Negro Center. We had to.
It was demolished and then they rebuilt it.
Yeah.
So there wasn't one.
Right, it wasn't one, that's all.
Do you want, we have an election commissioner here that might want to speak to some of this. I think we have more than one.
Yes, our district, I'm District 5. The reason we had to move it because the old center got demolished. And like I said, I kind of got mixed reviews with, not this for Mr. Williams, but most cities are fine with where it's at. I don't want to move it. But like I said, the final say so is y'all's decision. And just how much money we're going to spend, because we already got to move one precinct to Mr. Denner right here, the Trinity. So it's going to kind of double the cost. So I'm looking at cost-wise, just estimate, you're looking at about $7,000 to $12,000 just to move it back to this location. So our concern is how it's going to take this.
So as the election commissioner of that district, your stance is don't want to move it.
I really don't prefer to move it. We talked to campus, they're fine with us staying there. Logistic wise, there's not much of a difference from where it's currently at, but it's fine to me, you know. Like I said, we had a couple elections here already.
To you. Our board attorney, we're gonna exercise, niceness. Each person will have their say, so we're not gonna be rude to one another in this meeting, not at all. Okay, our board attorney would like to.
Thank you, Mr. President. Is there any situation, or is there possibility of people having trouble getting to the site? Or, because one of the concerns I heard Mr. Williams say, and I don't know anything about this other than what I heard today, is it hard for people to get on campus and actually vote? What's the situation?
You're right off the main road. It's right behind the vet school. But also my concern is about the parking situation too. The new building they built there, the parking lot is way smaller. Even with the church adding their spots in, you still reduce yourself. Because you got 6 poll workers, we total about 25 parking spots. So you cut your in half, whatever. On campus, you got 50 parking spots.
So to your knowledge, there's not been anyone that's not been able to vote if they wish to?
No. Because I put signs up all the time.
That's my main concern.
Like I put
Making sure
signs
people
up directing where they
able
need
to
to go
vote.
to. It's very accessible. Like I said, I've been around about 12 years.
What about the other location? Was there a situation where it was hard for them to
Well,
vote?
no, because it's like they've been there forever. So I understand with their concerns, they want to go back where they used to go at. But I'm just saying from logistic wise, long term, I think out campus would do better.
Thank you. That's all I needed to hear. I just want to make sure I'm not.
I know what our primary goal is to represent the citizens of our district and who we elected to represent. And the individuals that I've talked to, and they constantly tell me that it's hard to get out on campus, back and forward, to register. And they want that center to be moved back to the Gillespie Street Center. So that's the reason why I made that motion to satisfy the wishes of the citizens of District 5 and who's involved with that voting precinct. So we're satisfying their wishes. I know there have been some concern about the cost, yes, but we've been moving voting precincts all the time. This is not the first time. that a voting precinct has been moved from one location to another. So the citizens have expressed their wishes. Their wishes is that it be moved back to the Gillespie Street Center, and that's why my motion was made, to satisfy the wishes of the individuals who vote at that precinct.
Well, we certainly have a dilemma here, and there's never anything wrong. We're hearing both sides of the story. We've got the election commission elected by the citizens of that district. We've got a supervisor elected by the people of that district, and there are two different opinions based on knowledge, things of that nature, story value.
I wanted to ask, have y'all gotten any numbers from that polling district? Like, did the numbers go down when it moved, or and did they go up? I mean, I'm just wondering if the numbers would tell the tale. You know, how many were voted, you know, since it was moved, but it was there. Did they go down? You know, where, you know, that need is great.
It seems to me that the numbers went down. I was one of the first one to be elected when that precinct was moved. And I know very few individuals came out to vote during that time, especially the primary. The primary, we didn't have very few individuals showed up for the primary. So in my opinion, there have been some numbers. I wish I had those numbers, but there have been some decrease in the number of individuals who came out to vote.
Well, there is certainly things that you have to consider when you're talking about a voting precinct. First and foremost is you've got poll workers that's going to be there from 7 in the morning until 7 that night, and they need comfortability. You know, they need accessories to certain things, and the new is Gillespie Street Center. Needmore Center certainly affords those things. Brand new building is really nice. Access for voters, parking. You know, on a big election, doing from 5 o'clock until closing, you normally gonna have a huge number of voters. So parking and accessibility, pulling in and out of the streets, are things that to be considered. And I think that's why we're having this discussion, because there are some advantages in one place, some disadvantages, and some disadvantages in this place and advantages in the other. So that's why this conversation is going on. Supervisor Carver, did you?
Yeah, I was going to say, I've attended several events there. I think the historical significance, and Mr. Evans being here, was an alderman before and went, and we had sanitation workers there a month ago, and the significance of the name Needmore and Needmore District. However, I'm going to respectfully disagree with you. I don't ever want to have a perception of inhibiting voters. One, at the sanitation function, we sat for about 45 minutes before we could leave, because it's only about 20 parking spots. I would assume that day you'd have 10 parking spots taken by workers. I know there's some spots across the street, but it's one is a spot of about 250 parking spots. Another's of about 20, would say 10 after the workers are parked there. It's tight, congested, and I'll say the flip side of it is probably the nicest building in the city of Starkville. I encourage everybody to go down there and walk in and utilize that public space. The Election Commission unanimously supports keeping it where it is. I do understand your comments about Mississippi State. It's definitely changed the traffic patterns, but where that voting precinct is, like anything else, 2 to 3 years, people understand where it's at now. It's about a $10,000 cost to move it back to Needmore. I'm not saying in 2 years I might not support it then, but at this moment, with the unanimous vote of our election commission, and that's what their job is, I'm going to support that. So I yield.
Any other discussion?
Mr. President, we have received letters from the local church there that has 2 parking lots there for individuals to park at those locations, and they did present a letter of support giving us permission to use those 2 parking lots as parking spaces. So parking is not as bad as we seem to think that it is, because we've been voting there for years and we have never had problems with parking. Especially now, since the church has said that it's fine to use both of their parking lots to park.
There is no other discussion. We have a motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Trainer. All in favor? Motion passes 4-1. Next item on the agenda.
Sister comment.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Teresa Rice, and I'm here about Clifford Lane.
Well, I'm sorry, say that again.
I'm here about Clifford Lane.
Clifford Lane, okay.
And I want to ask a question about when will whatever it's supposed to be put down to control some of the dust, when will that be done? And also, we're having another problem with it when you turn in off the main road. The roads have started to divide, and it needs fixing before someone runs over it and get hurt or killed. Right when you turn in off the main road to Clifford Lane.
What is the main road?
That's straight the highway before you turn off Clifford Lane.
Rock Hill Road.
Rock Hill on the. It should be getting time. Is that product in and is it ready to apply, or we're not ready yet?
No, we're not ready yet. I
Think-
mean, it's just not enough dust now to put it in.
You thinking 2 months? Or
Yeah, about a month or so, maybe.
A month? Thank you for coming.
Okay, so what about the part with that need fixing now?
The Rock Hill,
Yes, where you turn in it, where dividing it.
is it needing like cold mix, or is it?
Well, we'll take a look at it.
Okay. We'll go out and look at it.
Okay, and you said it'll be about a month before you get the dust, whatever you're gonna put on to control the dust. Okay, because like I said, vehicles getting towed up and people's getting sick, and you know, it just ain't powerful when we all pay taxes just like everybody else. And we shouldn't have to keep coming, you know, talking about the same thing all the time when something needs to be done about it.
And I personally want this product to work because it's the first time that we've used it as a county. And there's a lot of areas, a lot of people with residences right on the side of the roads, and so we very optimistic that it works and that y'all are very happy this summer. And
I pray we do. And like I said, I put up a ceiling fan last week, and it already dusted, but he said it ain't that dusty, but it already dusted.
Have you had this conversation with your supervisor?
Many times.
And he's been working so hard on that project. He's the biggest advocate of that product to be able to control dust on county roads. In fact, he brought that project to the board.
How long ago?
Just this term. In
We
fact,
been speaking on before this term, though, haven't we, Mr. Londo?
Well,
So after he didn't do nothing about it, we started coming forcing our own opinion about it. So we went to him first.
he's working hard.
I appreciate if he work a little bit harder and get something done sooner than later.
We certainly do appreciate your comments, and we do hear your concerns.
Okay.
Thank you.
Pray something be done about it. Thank you.
Motion to acknowledge.
So move.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little. Any other questions? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Good morning.
Good morning.
State your
How you
name.
doing?
I'm good. How you?
That's my sister that just spoke, so I'm just here to complain
Would you
just like
state
she
your name?
did about. Sir,
State your name.
my name is Lisa Logan.
Okay. Ms.
302
Logan.
Clifford Lane.
Okay, Ms. Logan.
That's my sister that just spoke, so I'm just here to speak behalf of what she just said about the road dividing and the dust and stuff. We shouldn't have to inhale all that dust and stuff when the buses and stuff go through. I wish y'all could just be there to see it during the summertime. It's rough. So I'm hoping and praying that y'all can do something about it. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Ms. Logan. Motion to acknowledge, motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Carver. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Good morning.
Good morning, Brenda Kelly.
Good morning, Miss Kelly.
Good morning. I'm sister of those two, and listen to what you said about we're gonna respect each other up in here in this meeting. And out of respect, I agree with them. Something definitely needs to be done. And he said about the dust. If it's not raining, it's gonna be dust, whether it's in the summertime or the wintertime. Because if rain is what basically settled mud. But other than that, we got a lot of dust. And not just what my sister said about the cracks or whatever, but the whole road needs some attending to. That road is really messed up out there. And also, Kelly Road, I know what's been said, but out of respect, we still paying taxes over there, we still own the property. And it don't look like respect is given when you just pay fourth of the road or a little bit more, and then you leave the rest of it unpaid. That don't look like no respect is being given, especially to.
How many houses are down at the end of that road that weren't paved? From where the pavement
Well,
is?
now the pavement started like maybe they might have paved a mile of it, but it's just like maybe 3 or 4 houses on the road that they paved maybe a fourth of the road. But we still using our property because we have.
But past the pavement, are there any houses?
Not that we're living in, but we're still using it because we still have the property over there, and we have cows and a few horses, I should say, over there. So what you saying? Just because?
I guess what I'm saying is, I got a lot
Just
of
because-
roads in my area that have a lot of houses on them that I cannot pave, and I can't.
Well, we know you
'cause
can't.
it's a
We
lot
know
of-
all of them
'cause it's
can't
a lot
be
of
paid.
expense to pave a road.
I know,
To
but
go
that's
down to get some cows
Right.
that live in the country.
yeah. But when you paying money, when you paying taxes. Tax is supposed to mean something, and living over there should mean something. You know, this ain't just now. It should have been paid, but it haven't been. So we just decided that we're gonna come up here and state our own case about it. We lived over there forever, and nothing got done. So it ain't like, like my sister said, it ain't like it's just something that just being addressed. It's been addressed, but it's just being put off. So we just decided to come in.
I guess I'm trying to understand myself.
See, Kelly Road is different from Clifford Lane. I live on Clifford Lane,
Right.
but we have property over there on Kelly Road.
Kelly Road.
So about a year or so ago, somebody decided they were gonna pay just maybe a fourth of Kelly Road. And because Kelly Road is our property that we've owned forever,
Right.
and we always waited and hoping that something would be done about it. Nothing never was done about it. So now they came and paid like a fourth of it, like she say. People just live in that little area, but the whole road is Kelly Road.
Right.
So we just saying, just saying what I'm saying, no disrespect to anyone.
We're beyond our time for citizens comment per
Okay.
citizen. But thank you so much for coming. Thank you all
Okay.
for coming. We definitely hear your concerns.
Yes.
And I can echo what's been said, that we are definitely working as hard as we can. Since I've been on this board, we've always had more issues than we had money to deal with. So, but listen, we certainly do hear your concerns.
Mr. President, I just want to make sure I understand. The section that peoples are living on have been paved. It's just a section beyond that pavement.
Something like that. Finally got paid.
Yeah,
Yes.
that individuals are actually living on. That section been paid. It's just that section that y'all had a farmland on has not been
Somewhat
paid.
like that.
Yes, ma'am.
And that is still a concern of mine.
That's still a concern.
And then when we talk about money, I know you said my time is up, but it seems like we do what we want to do for who we want to do it for, and that's not respect.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you all
Thank you.
so much
Thank you.
for coming. I need a motion to acknowledge.
So move.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Anybody else for a citizen's comment? If not, this portion of our meeting has been closed. We're gonna now move on to GTPDD. Neil Schaefer, Phyllis Benson, and William Sanford. Good morning.
Good
Morning,
morning.
morning, morning.
Hey, how are you? So good to see you. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Do y'all want the short version or the long version?
It's up to you.
Okay, all right. I'm here this morning and I brought William with me because Zach Foster could not be here. And but William is out of the Starkville Niels Schaefer office and has graciously agreed to be here in case you have any specific questions. I am presenting change order number 2 for your North Star Industrial Park project. Do you need a refresher on the funding sources? Yes. Okay. Initially, you received an ARC grant to put up the elevated tank, and that was being matched by the bonds that were passed by the city and the county. That project's complete, pending monitoring by the Mississippi Development Authority. They're running a little bit behind. Okay, then we submitted an application to the Appalachian Regional Commission in the amount of $2,719,102.
What's that figure?
$2,719,102. That was being matched by a site development grant from the Mississippi Development Authority in the amount of $679,775. So you're looking at almost $3.4 million in grant funds. And we used almost $1.5 million for that initial site grading that you saw out there that made such a dramatic difference to that site. And we are talking about that area if you're going along on 82, the bypass, about where it intersects with the 25 bypass. If you look over your right shoulder, you'll see how the landscape out there has dramatically changed. That project has been completed. So you've got about half of that money left for a future project. Then
We're 1.5 into the 3.4.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So then the link went back to Jackson, knocked on the door, and the governor approved yet a second site development grant from the Mississippi Development Authority. And I will remind you that this is big money compared to the normal site development grants. Most governmental entities receive smaller $200,000 to $300,000 projects. This is a special appropriation. The amount of that funding grant was $2.5 million and some change. The match money for that project is almost $280,000, and that is being split between the city and the county from the leftover bond proceeds. So you have a total funding package there of $2,798,200. Okay. All right. Are we all together now on the monies? Okay.
All that, you've got about half left, 1.8 million. You add that to the 2.789.
Okay. Part of the 2.789 has been obligated to Burns Dirt. We started out with an original contract of $1,406,000 and some change. So that was obligated to Burns Dirt to do a site pad there. I came back to you a few months ago with change order number 1 to construct a loop around the building, and that will enable Joe Max to be able to drive up on the property and show potential industries that site. Well, it was just to build the base. I'm coming back to you today with change order number 2 in the amount of $168,235.25 to put rock on top of it, crushed stone, so that it will make it a more passable drive to present that to potential industries.
Were they able to get the old pond filled in on the first?
We're not going to move that far today. It's not actually part of this project, right?
The old pond that's on that side?
Yeah, that was an old pond that needed filling in.
Yes.
Oh, they
Yeah,
did get that
there's
one?
a smaller one on that
Okay.
site that had to be filled in for the road to be built, so
Okay.
yes.
Okay,
And then there's another one
right.
Yes,
into the
thinking about
site.
different one.
Okay, all right, sorry, my
No problem,
mistake,
no problem.
my mistake.
So now, is this road that were added, the number 1 and number 2 change order, is it gonna be a permanent road in there when this is finished, or is this just temporary?
No, I think it's the base for
the
what
base.
can be a permanent road. Am I speaking correctly?
Yes, it's a
on that?
full
Right.
site access, it's a loop road connecting off the end of Rutherford Road and looping all the way around the site and tying back into another future road. All these are future roads as the site develops. But yes,
So
it's
it will
a,
become permanent, it's not anything
it's a
temporary.
main road and it will most likely be incorporated into part of whatever this site, this building pad eventually develops as. Whether it be access for trucks, transportation, deliveries and things in and out of the site, but yes, it's not a temporary road.
It went straight through that pond. You come to the end of the road to the T, take a left, go to the end of that road. This is going up that hill, going all the way back around to the Gray Rock Road.
That's correct.
So you just, I move approval.
Second.
It's been moved by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Trainer. Any other discussions? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
I'll leave, do you want me to pick, I need one back,
Okay.
and then I left one, do I need to bring more copies? I'll get,
You explain things very well. I see what the first change order is on here, computing that the original change order was, and that was about $288,000 for that first change order.
yes, sir.
So everything is very well, it was confusing at first, but it's very well explained on here.
Well, good, good.
Thank
The engineer prepared that
Yeah,
document.
he did a
so
good job. Good job.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions?
Thank you for all
Thank
you
you
do.
so
All
much.
right, I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda, we have juvenile court. It's been relayed that Judge Turner's flight was delayed, so we've got Molly here on her behalf. Come forward, we can certainly get the conversation going today.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Molly Jackson, the Turner's Court Administrator and designee. Do apologize on her behalf. She was traveling home yesterday and her flight was delayed. She was currently in the air right now trying to get back. Otherwise she would have been here this morning. We were here on a budget amendment. I'm not sure if it might not be best to requestfully ask that this be moved to the next board meeting so that Judge Turner can address this with you herself.
I'm gonna make a motion to table to the next meeting.
Motion by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Little, that we table this issue until our next upcoming meeting. Any discussion? All in favor?
Well, could there be some issues, presented and associated to those individuals coming from contractual service to full-time employees? And once they become full-time employees, there are some benefits that come along with it. So, could we be prepared to answer those questions about the expense of the benefits that are gonna come along with it, and how would that affect the total cost of those individuals being removed, or those attorneys being removed from contractual services to full-time employees?
Yes, sir. And you're asking that Judge Turner be prepared for that?
Yes, and
Yes.
then our comptroller and others.
Yes.
Maybe the three of us talk and figure this out.
Yes, I can. Yeah, I'll advise Judge Turner that the proposal you have in front of you is not adding any funds to the budget.
Right.
She's accounted for that. It would just be line item changes to make that there. But I understand that there are some additional questions that would follow with that, and I believe that she would be the best person to directly address all of those with you.
Right, sounds really good. If you relay those concerns, and we'll be prepared to discuss it at our next meeting.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Thank you, Vaughn.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Have a good day. I guess we need a motion to acknowledge.
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have our tax assessor collector, Ms. Barbara Cubon, on behalf of Ms. Joellen Walker. Good morning.
Good morning. I just have some assessment changes that need to be approved.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Williams. Any discussion?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, when I was looking on here, is that like appraisal error? Is that like normal to have that many at one time?
No, it just sort of happened. It's mostly, they put houses on the properties that weren't finished yet, or they weren't lived in, so they took them off.
I just didn't know if they need to look at
That's the majority of it.
You got to speak up, Barbara, I can't hear you.
They were, the appraisers put the houses on the tax roll, and they shouldn't have been put on there. They should have been held for another year.
I gotcha. That cleared me up. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Barbara. Next on the agenda, we have our fire coordinator, Mr. Patrick Warren. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. I just have one item today to discuss, you should have it in your packets. We did receive a new brush truck with some grant money we received. And this is an older truck, a 1985 K5 1500. We need to turn over the surplus and get rid of it and sell it. I'm just here to ask the board that request to get rid of the truck.
Motion to declare the 1985 brush truck as surplus.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Little, that we declare the 1985 Chevrolet brush truck as surplus. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Now we need.
Also, I think there's Laban Volunteer Fire Department's doing their chili cooking this Saturday.
I'll have to get the date out. I can't remember. I believe it is coming up this Saturday.
I think we've all been invited. That's a 15 for a half gallon, 30 for a gallon. They've done it for years, but I think it's this Saturday, or text us and tell us.
I'll shoot a text out to everybody and let everybody know.
Now, I think we need another motion, follow-up motion to authorize you to sell this surplus equipment.
Yes, sir.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now we've got Chief Deputy Maurice Johnson from the Sheriff's Department. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I don't have anything.
Okay. Move forward. Our road manager report, Mr. Victor Collins.
We just have one cover request for entering property.
Daniel Giles, he's Maven Bell Schoolhouse Road. He says he's probably 100 yards from the barn there. He needs access to his property.
Okay. Motion. I'll make that motion. Second by Supervisor Trainer. Any other discussion? Motion. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
What was the address again? I'm sorry.
There is no address just yet, but it's on Maven Bell Schoolhouse Road. Property owner is Daniel Giles, Giles.
I do have a cover request for Polly Bell Road. The name is Mr. Bryce Coleman, and he needs access to his property. He has the location marked by flagging. I'll get that address to you all, but I'd like to make a motion. Second by Supervisor Trainer. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. This is on Polly Bell Road.
Check your email. I got something.
Price Coleman.
Text you or email you what we give them next time.
Is that it from our road manager?
I've got one, that Valley Lane tree has started leaning more again this weekend.
He got back.
Yeah.
He was out of town last week.
Yeah, it's getting bad. It's about to fall on the road. And then I'll tell you, I want to thank y'all for painting the bridge on Longview Egerton. good job on that. The material that you used was correct, and then that's all I have. I guess.
Anything else from our road manager or for our road manager?
Did you want a board order on the Valley Lane, tree cutting? I don't
No,
know.
it will fall under what we already have in place.
Mr. Collins, we wasn't gonna bite this morning.
If you insist. I just wanna thank the guys for what they done on the Off Top Road Bridge. They got it back in the time limit we asked for. Do wanna ask the board to consider having guardrails installed on that bridge. The location of the bridge and where it is, it's kind of one of those things where I believe it needs to have longer guardrails. The bridge has guardrails on it, and it worked out perfectly. Somebody running into the guardrails last Friday and tore it off the bridge just before we started to work on it that Monday. And so it worked out that we were out there and had to replace those. But I'm requesting that we consider letting our engineer work up an assessment to put additional guardrails on that bridge.
Motion for approval.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
And that's a Longview.
No, that's on Octok Road,
I'm sorry.
near the Hillbrook intersection.
That's definitely needed, I think.
Needed.
And we are, in that saying, we've got pictures and everything. I'll present them at the next meeting. I know I told y'all I was gonna get you a assessment on some roads, but I didn't quite. We were short-handed last week with spring break, and I had to do some stuff myself in place, so I wasn't able to go out and do my job. But I will have that ready for y'all on the next meeting.
How's Dry Creek looking?
Well, we got some. It would have been, yeah, it would have been ready, but this little rain we got Saturday put the water level back up in it again. We looked at it Friday and I said, well, if everything works out, we'll be ready, but of course, we can't, what the good master does, out of our control.
We have, are the GPSs up and running on all the vehicles?
Yeah, pretty much everything.
Can we get access to that data, or who's monitoring it?
Yeah, anybody can get access to it.
You want me to call you today or call
it's just a little old app that you have to put on your phone.
Have you seen anything concerning that?
No, not right off.
Victor, I saw something on Facebook that had some of our guys helping a person, I don't know whether it was stuck, what was going on, but it was some of our road people helping them out, getting them unstuck on one of these roads back there. I need to go back and see if I can find it, but I just wanted to give you a heads up that somebody was saying thank you, and I don't know that anybody, do you know about this? Supervisor Trainer,
Surely we're not referencing Facebook posts up here.
This was a thank you. This was not a negative. This was a very positive.
Nothing else.
Thank you for what the workers are doing out on these roads. They certainly doing a good job, and some people are bragging about how good a job they are doing.
Well, we pushing at it as hard as we can to try to get as much as we can done.
What about Sturgis Maven Road? Is it progressing as it should?
Yeah, they actually got through with the soil cement part of it, and of course, with that being done, they'll be able to do the paving, and traffic will be able to pass on that road without doing detours. So that's one good thing. And
now is that paving going all the way through there, Vic?
all the way, yes.
82 to 12.
Yeah, all the way.
It's 12-something miles.
And a lot of people just want to thank you and thank the group, and much needed. So
Yeah, it's, we
Well,
got.
I don't want to mention any Facebook posts.
Well, I'm not gonna take the blame for that one. I didn't do those detours and all. I'll take the blame for the ones I do, but the ones I don't, I can't. I'm not. But I do. We did loan them some signs. I'll say that much to try to help out.
Mr. Collins, I keep getting comments about when we're gonna start paving the roads. I know the weather is bad now, but I'm sure somewhere down in the near future, maybe the weather gonna get
We're
better.
gonna actually start trying to do some patching here and within a week or two on some of the stuff what they need to do. And that's gonna come along with the list that I bring out. It's gonna be some recommendations on there, and I'm gonna let the board decide on those. I'll make the recommendations, and you all tell me what to do.
Are you gonna talk to the supervisor prior to that, along with your recommendations?
Yes, I'll do that.
Yeah.
In fact, every district I'll get y'all something out there before time.
Okay.
Anything else for road manager? Anything else from our road manager?
That's it. Y'all know. I'm not gonna ask for anything.
Motion by Supervisor Turner, second by Supervisor Carver. Any other discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Motion passes unanimously. Okay, next week we've got EPL advisors, Ms. Brittany Harrington and Mr. Brent Bailey. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. How are y'all?
Good morning. Fine, how are you all?
Very good, very good. I'm just going to sit down and reintroduce myself. I know I've had a chance to catch up with Ms. Little and Mr. Trainer. The rest of you I met briefly with the previous firm that I worked for, assisting y'all and getting some funding for y'all's county projects. I wanted to reintroduce myself as Brittany Harrington with EPL Advisors. Let y'all know some of the services that we, if y'all are in need, are able to assist y'all with. EPL, Efficient Power and Light, specializes in energy efficiency, specializes in renewables as well. I'm going to let Mr. Bailey give y'all an update on, a more in-depth update on our advising services. But one thing I do want to tell y'all before I step aside and let him take over is something that the municipalities and the manufacturers within Ottabaha may be interested in accessing is some of our services that we are offering through our contract with NDEQ and energy efficiency, some of the compliance and advising services as well. So if y'all, if any manufacturers are in need of more information on that, we can get that to y'all. But today we're going to talk about renewables, give y'all an update on some of the legislation that is in work that could help boost the economy here in Ottawa. And so with that, we've got former Public Service Commissioner and the Vice President of Operations of EPL Advisors, Mr. Brent Bailey.
All right. Thank you, Brittany.
You're very welcome.
Just walk way here. Well, I get ready. Also got a pile of cards right here.
Yeah, thank you.
This direction. I mean, we didn't run out by the time we get to
When were you public service commissioner?
I finished up about 14 months ago.
What district?
Central District. So I was in,
Remember your name?
yeah, I was in center part of the state. I had the pleasure of serving with the gentleman who worked in this area, who represented North Mississippi, Mr. Presley. But
and you were a long snapper for Mississippi State back under Sherrill.
I was. I played ball here from 91 to 93. So.
Okay.
My mother's here, my sister's here, so a lot of connections start from there. So.
Who's your mother?
My mother's Mitzi Bailey. She is the house mom of the DG house. Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. There you go.
Lives in the Lakes with my neighbor.
All right. There you go. That's her. That's her. Well, thank y'all for the opportunity to come see y'all. Yeah, Brittany had a good job, just really kind of overview of what EPL does. When she talked about energy efficiency, one thing you may want to look at is the lights above you. TVA now through their energy efficiency programs has really ramped up the incentives profile for relighting energy efficiency upgrades within their footprint. To start with utilities being a TVA distributor, that certainly makes the County of Oktibbeha County and their facilities eligible for those types of incentives. So something to think about in your budgeting year as you continue to look at opportunities and ways to create upgrades to your facilities, improve the lighting, reduce your energy bill, and just have a better indoor quality better indoor environment. But I'm here today so to talk to you a little bit about some of the things we're doing as far as from the clean energy development side. I assume in the role of what solar energy renewables are taking shape here in the state today, and perhaps the opportunities for Oktibbeha County to enjoy and participate in that economic development side of things, particularly here in the southeast. In the state of Mississippi, we've already seen a significant amount of investment in the counties adjacent to you, in Lowndes County and Clay County. Approximately 677 megawatts of new capacity is coming online, valued at about a $700 million investment here in those areas. I know Oktibbeha County is currently in association with TVA evaluating a project that's about a $200 million investment in this area. So it just represents, within the Golden Triangle, it is just one hotspot of activity. There's been approximately 46 large-scale solar projects. When I say large-scale, that's 1 megawatt and above. Average of that is around 100 megawatts to 150 megawatts of projects that have been approved or in construction here in the state of Mississippi, impacting I think 27 counties.
Who approves those projects, Baruch? You say they've been approved?
When I say approved, the Public Service Commission has final say-so on the Certificate of Public Convenience and Necessity that allows them to construct, own, and operate, and recognizes the generator interconnection agreement that's been established between the project and the hosting transmission owner.
Is that information available somewhere?
It absolutely is. I could have brought that. I keep kind of a running tally and a map, and happy to share that with y'all. There's nothing proprietary to it. I would be grateful. Yeah, I'd love to have. We can certainly do that. When we get back, we'll shoot that to everybody here. I think it's you'd be interested to see the scope of investments that have been made. When you total those 47 projects together, that's over $6.7 billion in private sector investment to these areas. For many of these counties, it's the largest economic development project you have seen or probably ever will see. When you think about Carroll County, Scott County, Issaquah County, Knoxville County, and some of those others where you're going to have $200 million submitted, and that means over the life of those projects, millions of dollars going back to the revenues of the counties, the local school districts, the landowners that are leasing the property. So it's a lot of revenues that are generated both for the public and private in regard to these projects.
And most of that's just getting turned around and getting sold to TVA.
TVA recently put out a 10,000 megawatt RFP for the footprint. So a lot of these in this area is driven in response to their request for proposals to provide clean energy megawatts. What's driving that? A lot of the investments you've seen here, Steel Dynamics, others. Think of these large companies that have sustainability goals and initiatives internally, and renewable energy, purchasing those renewable energy resources goes a long way to satisfying their internal corporate sustainability goals. So not only do solar projects bring and attract industries here, industries that have those goals attract solar industries to those areas as well.
Part of their energy portfolios to have some type of renewable. I guess the sun's the same everywhere. I just wondered, I don't know if this is a desirable place to put a solar farm. I know that you talked about the aesthetics of them.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not the prettiest things. But it's we talked about that the other day. I wonder why it seems like this location's getting chosen, or is this normal growth across the board?
You're seeing everywhere. Mississippi's uniquely situated in 3 major energy market areas, what they call the MISO market area, which is a regional transmission organization, which the west half of the state's in, your TVA service area, and of course Southern Company, Mississippi Power, in that marketing area. And all these utilities and a lot of their customers have these types of goals, these initiatives that drives that. So not just the private sector side for sustainability purpose, but also the diversification of our energy resources. And of course, there's a lot of resources out there at the federal level, or there have been. Of course, the new administration has made things interesting over the last 2 months. But there's still a lot of opportunity and a lot of projects in the pipeline that's going to further grow that. And you see environmental regulations, you see cost competitiveness. Solar is generally the most cost competitive and quickest energy resource to get on the grid. Sure, it's intermittent, It doesn't produce during the day, but a lot of these projects, particularly one in Clay in Lowndes County, are associating themselves with battery energy storage technologies as well. So it allows that power that's generated during the day to be captured and utilized into the evening and early night hours during those critical periods when people are getting home, they're firing up their air conditioner or their heaters, and really maintaining consistency over those ramping periods, what they call critical hours in the energy market. And it creates value for those to do that. So that's just part of the drivers of that. Advances in solar technology. Looks may never change, but the performance of those certainly have over time with tracking technology, greater energy production capacity per panel. So you've seen a lot of opportunity there. And then also the economic benefits that come from that I mentioned earlier.
I want to ask, you know, I've heard before, so maybe you can, you know, dispel this myth. The ground that all these solar panels are put on, you know, out there. I have heard that at the end of that lifespan, 20, you know, 30 years, you know, what it is that ground really is not usable.
I would dispute that. I mean, you're actually taking, in many cases, it's farmland or former pine plantation land. I mean, these landowners have made in most cases, private landowners made a decision to lease this out full time. In my view, the land has actually had time to rest over a 20 to 30 year period. They're going to be managing the vegetation on it and things like that. You know, for soil health purposes, using native plants and materials. I see the opportunity for the land to actually regenerate itself and have time to rest, depending on what the prior decades of use for that land has been. And with the decommissioning specifications within the lease agreement, they are budgeting and conducting activities at the end of the life of the project. They are required to return it to its prior use to meet the specifications, whatever that was, in conjunction with the landowner. And depending on what the county regulations are, most of that is always included in the leaseholder agreement, pre-funded through a surety bond to ensure that whatever happens over the life of the project end, if it's not repowered and lease extended, that there is sufficient resources in place to remove all the materials that's there and restore that land to its previous condition, in agreement with the landowner at the time. And all that is transferable as well. So any developer worth their salt is going to have these types of very comprehensive conditions in place. So just kind of along that line, just real fast. So the state of Mississippi is in the process of ramping up a program called RSTEP, and it's a technical assistance program. It's renewable energy. RSTEP acronym is Renewable Energy Siting and Technical Assistance Program for counties and municipalities, specifically for the purpose of, you hear a lot of things. You get a lot of information off Facebook and social media that's not always true and factual. So they're in the process working with DOE, state and federal agencies and others to get as much information together that's been peer reviewed, scientifically backed, that is factual, industry best practices, and put that together. And we're going to be assisting them in that rollout, going county by county, kind of like we're doing today, but providing hands-on information, training with policymakers, elected leaders, and others within the county decision-making process to really understand when a developer comes into the county and say, you know, we're working with this landowner, we're going to lease 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 acres. The community starts talking out there, that you are prepared, that you have the knowledge, you have the resources at hand to help, you know, synthesize and understand information, push back on disinformation, but also adequately inform your constituents and others that these are the pros and cons of this product, of this project, what it does for you, what it does for the county. Understanding aesthetics was discussed, but what we could do to, you know, for setbacks, visual aesthetics, screening, there's all these things in place. And a developer, when they go into the county with a good set of reasonable, just and reasonable rules, that's actually where they want to work, where they want to do business, instead of somewhere that has a bunch of unknowns and variables where certainty is not a thing that they can invest in. So just wanted to mention that. Yes, sir.
You just answered my question. You bet that was the nutshell what I was gonna ask.
Oh, okay. But, yes, there's always concerns. There's ways to mitigate where there's wildlife issues, land use issues, health and safety. You mentioned decommissioning, what goes on after that. Stormwater, DEQ always has permits for large landscape stormwater retention and erosion prevention plans. I mean, all these guys go through a very complex set of issues and evaluations. These projects just don't happen. These things are years and years in the making. As far as negotiating landowners, securing the generation interconnection agreement is a multi-year process, regardless of which market they're in. And also the supply chain, getting projects in the pipeline for construction, and then the construction period is normally 12 to 18 months. So these folks put a lot of effort into it, a lot of investment, and they're, as I say, contributing a new energy resource to the state, to the region, that everyone can benefit from. As far as ways the county might look at this, certainly thought about this program, hopefully gets up off the ground in the next couple of months, have the opportunity to visit with the board individually or as a collective with other county board of supervisors for planning and development districts or activities at the Mississippi Association of Supervisors. We certainly want to help get that, but understand where other resources can come from. And I know that's something y'all asked about, or at least Brittany wanted to touch on, is where revenues are available. One thing that was expanded recently was in the IRA, Inflation Reduction Act, was Section 179D, which provides revenue or resources to nonprofits like government facilities, municipalities, county governments that typically have not been as available, such as other tax incentives to for-profit entities. So that's something to think about there. And I know with some of the formula funding that's come through to our state energy office, they certainly want to look and see how they can support their municipality as well. So Joe Hagerman, who is the new director of our state energy office, been there since November, would be an excellent resource to touch base with as well.
I think the 179D used by government entities, is that something they're thinking that nonprofits are getting into the solar industry, or more from what do you mean by that?
It's primarily been used for energy efficiency.
You're saying there's grants for...
So it's a way to leverage a previously unavailable incentive for nonprofits. Profits could, of course, use the investment or production tax credits to leverage against their tax liability at the federal level. This is a way to monetize certain tax credits and return those incentives to nonprofits. It's kind of a roundabout way to do it, but folks have been successful, entities have been successful in that. There's groups out there that can certainly...
Is that HVAC upgrades and lighting and things like that, or are you talking about energy transmission lines?
Oh, no, talking about on
maintenance of buildings and things like that?
Yeah, on-site energy efficiency and generation technologies. Yeah, so not large-scale projects such as
You're
that.
talking about the meters when you come in the room, shutting the lights off, all that kind of stuff?
Yes, yes. So anyway, I know I threw a lot out in a short amount of time. I was trying to stay in the 5-minute window there. But is there anything that you gentlemen and ladies have questions on that Mike can address, or Rick, anything else you want me to?
Certainly would want that get from McCall to have a more in-depth conversation concerning solar deal, because it is a different dynamics out in my district. It has some opportunities and also has some concerns because you see these large projects and they do have a significant amount of tax resources coming along with them. But at the same time, you have individuals who have concerns about the long-term effect of it. And you've got individuals out there that are being presented with life-changing dollars, opportunities, as it relates to their property. I mean, I'm talking about real dollars, options and things of that nature. And the county at this point, we can't tell them what to do because we don't have any structure in place. And there have been some counties in other places who have dealt with this. And so by us doing our comprehensive planning, this is another aspect of comprehensive planning that we probably never even thought about it, but we need to, because it's going to have an impact on growth.
That's right.
And then at the end of the day, it has taxes associated with it that helps alleviate and address some of these other concerns that we've been talking about all morning.
Yes.
So it's exciting to me, I guess. That's what I'm saying, because of the potential of what can happen in the county. And someone with your expertise probably would be very
Yeah, we
knowledgeable about how to
we want to
handle
provide all angles of conversation. Of course, there's open house opportunities when these developers are in town, and they're certainly encouraged to do that. But you're right, you're seeing more and more counties work this into zoning, comprehensive plans going forward. A good, reasonable set of rules always works best for everybody. We understand the significant amount of resources that's generated from this, and that's what I'm saying. Thank you, ma'am. A lot of these counties have managed their property taxes to the satisfaction of a lot of their constituents because of the added revenues that's coming in, and can be attributed to, local infrastructure concerns as well. And generally that revenue split sort of 50-50 with the local public school district, and for them that's new revenue opportunities. But there's pros and cons, there's costs, there's benefits, there's things to be addressed, and I think through this program, not just the resources there, but there'll be things like model ordinance included as well for bodies such as this to consider and look at going forward.
Yeah, because I think that if some of these larger projects, like what you said, if we have, somebody that has a lot of knowledge and experience in there to help guide and direct some of the, the landowners and the people to where, you can look at it and see, because all those contracts are not the same.
That's right. That they're sort of, many times they're site by site specific, depending on the scope and scale of the project, where they're located. Is there setbacks requirements in those areas or not? Is there regulations at the county level or not? So, yeah, you're right. So landowners, they're always encouraged to do their research, get proper attorney and legal representation, and know what they're signing before they put their name on the dotted line. And yes, there's a lot of revenue opportunities for the private sector associated with that.
Well, we are receiving phone calls. Just last week I received a phone call. They didn't reveal any names or plans or anything. So they simply asked, do we have any codes or things in place within the county that governs this type of development? And obviously my answer had to be no.
And until you get your comprehensive plan in place, it's going to be hard to create zoning ordinance that have teeth. I understand. There's a lot of interest. There's, like I said, a lot of drivers. Will we see a cooling down period in this administration? I don't think for the short term. So much of these projects are way down the development pipeline that it may be a couple of years before you see anything slow down to that point. And then you're looking at another administration, and who knows what priorities they have. And that's the political and policy whiplash we've been dealing with for the last several cycles. But businesses want certainty, and we want to.
Have y'all spoken to county schools?
I haven't.
I think this would be a good presentation. They're not standalone, but they've got dated buildings too, so that might be a good contact if you're up here at some point.
Okay.
There's not a problem with heavy equipment moving in and out.
So,
these projects,
as far as some of the short-term impacts, yeah, you're going to have trucks coming in with the panels, the pilings, racking materials, people coming in and out over, like I said, a 12 to 18 month period. Most of them are going to work with y'all the best we can to find a route in and out that's unimpactful or as little impact as possible to the community, to school bus routes and things like that. They want to be good community partners. They really do, and they're going to work the best they can. And I've even seen instances in Lauderdale County, Scott County, and others, when they get done, they'll come in and pave the road and do any damage they've done to mitigate that for the local area.
That was my concern, because I've received some concerns about the biggest problem is with heavy equipment moving in and out, and the destruction that it does to the road base. So I'm glad to know that they will come back and offer some type of financial assistance to
with these groups, developers, the companies. Don't be afraid to ask.
That has to be built into that contract.
That's right. I mean,
they're just not going to say, "Hey, we're going to come do it."
One of the thoughts that we need to keep in mind is when they get ready to put these things in, they're going to clear cut. And so what ends up, a lot of your damaging traffic is going to be a result of the preparation before the installation. So that's something we need to be thinking about.
depending what the current land use is for that, I don't know. But
Then
this
clear
one,
cutting gonna be a drainage issue.
That's right.
You saw somebody.
yep, and that's where, you know, work with DEQ, Soil and Water Conservation Commission, and those folks to ensure there's proper retainment structures, retention structures, and those types of things. And you know, they don't want things to move off site. It's not in their best interest either.
Good problem to have, bro.
Any other questions?
Well, we'll send that
Thank you all so
information
much
along to you, and anything else we can assist with. You know where we are.
Lots of great information.
And, we appreciate you. Hope to see you again soon.
Lots of potential. A
One
lot
capacity,
of exciting times ahead.
Yes.
So we certainly do appreciate it, and thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for having us.
Absolutely.
Very much, we appreciate it.
Motion
Good
to
to see
acknowledge. Motion by Supervisor Frame, second by Supervisor Williams. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Listen, we've got, and we probably should have went ahead and did this when we were discussing the other polling place. But we've got the election commissioner from District 3. Well, Mr. Carpenter, you
We can jump straight to that one
okay.
if you'd like.
Yes, sir. Let's, and we can let
Item
Devil
number
lead.
7 on my report addresses a change in voting location for, and I may misstate it, North District 3, I can't remember.
North Star for
District 3
District
North. Here it is, it's an email from Mr. Benny Daniels, you can see it here, that addresses this topic.
Make a motion, we approve the request.
Second.
Been moved by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Carver, that we grant the request to move polling place in District 3. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes. Moving from
Trinity Prayers on
Trinity
Hospital Road to Garrett Road.
Presbyterian.
That's gonna say, God,
Moving to
If you just put it in the packet, I could through.
Okay, all right, done deal.
Thank you.
The first item on my report is from Miss Janetta Kendrick. Miss Kendrick is the court administrator for the 16th District. They are wanting to hire Miss Courtney Taylor as the court reporter. I'll give all county sheriffs in the cost of those things. You have something in your packet and request from her to that effect.
Make a motion, we approve the request.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Was that concerned about the prorating of her salary? I guess you've been working all the time, but prorate her salary.
Her salary will be prorated between 3 counties. It'll be Octavia Hall, Lowndes, and Clay. The one question I did send back to her is I'm trying to understand what's the method of allocation. Is it population? Is it, and she hasn't replied back to me yet.
Yeah.
But I want to understand
That was
that.
interesting, because some counties are paying a very small.
Knoxville's paying about 12%. We're actually paying higher than Lowndes, and that's what caused me to ask the question, because I couldn't
surprising.
understand that
That
reasoning
was
behind it.
surprising.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next is West Sand Creek Road closure. I had a gentleman visit my office last week by the name of Mr. Johnny Turnipseed. He's purchased land at the end of West Sand Creek Road. He has a neighbor that has blocked the road, and Mr. Turnipseed no longer has access to his property. The decision before the board this morning is the gravel portion of West Sand Creek actually a county road? If it is a county road, is the board willing to enforce its right of way through his neighbor's property? And by enforcing the right of way, the second order effect will be that Mr. Turnipseed will have access to his property. our road manager, Victor Collins, went out and inspected that location, and Victor, if you could share what you saw out there.
Okay, his property, I don't know if you have a map.
They do.
They do?
They have this map
His
right
property is right at the end of that road, so what I had to do is determine where the road ended. And so, went out, we took a measurement on it, and by the road register, that road runs right dead into his property. Where the red mark is about, the bottom of the red mark is about where the containment is, and he can't get through that to get to his property. I think the concern of the gentleman may be because his house is at the end of the road, he may have had people coming down and turning around there, but it still restricts.
And he owns property on both sides of that road. So the actual public roadway dissects his property. And so he's placed a gate or a cable across that road there from one side of his property to the other piece of property that he owns, and has blocked the road.
Well, I mean, it's pretty simple. You can't block the public road.
That's right.
Can't do that.
But in lieu of this situation, I'd like to recommend that the board contact both of these individuals and subpoena them up here, because I think there are some other dynamics involved in this whole thing that really needs to be fleshed out to make a determination of it. And the reason why I'm saying it is because when that particular road, I don't know whether we have it on the county register, but at the same time, I don't know whether there was any official action by the county designating it as a public road. And so my suggestion would be to bring them up here, let the board make a determination whether the board decides is final, or go in the direction.
I mean, what's the status of the road currently right now?
The status of the road now is that it's maintained by the county. But however, it says something about Mr. Turnipseed purchasing land at the end of the road. So my question of it is that if he purchased land at the end of the road, what was designated in his deed as far as accessing the property?
I still have to go back to the fact that if the status is a public road, regardless of what was in his deed, an individual cannot block a public road. I mean, that's regardless of whatever else surrounds it. At the end of the day, we can't have individuals going out blocking public roads. I mean, somebody might decide to block one in my district.
Well, I'm not saying that that's not the case, but now in this situation, when you look at it, it's got other dynamics to it. Because see, this property is very close to the property that Clyde mentioned to us about over in Valley Lane. You remember when Clyde came before with the issue on Valley Lane? And I think we authorized
what was going on Valley?
There was some access issues with that particular property too. Okay. And all this is kind of in the area. And so what I'm saying is it just needs to be a determination once and for all that will help give these individuals some direction on exactly what's going on there. Because if you go back and really look at the official part of it, when the road was accepted by the county kind of took the road in by prescription method. And if you go back and do some research on it, you'll find out that the actual original county road really ended where the pavement ends, which is quite a little distance back up the road, and that would encompass affecting a lot of people that's in there. So the county just down through the years is by prescription started to just keep up this road the way that's down there. And so only thing I can say is that if the board determines that the road is being blocked, it has to be opened up, then the board needs to make the determination. I can't say that from my standpoint because I'm just giving it based upon what I see. But now if you go back and do the research on it, you'll find out that that road actually may stop a little farther.
My suggestion would be get our attorney involved in and let him determine the legality of whether it's actually a county road or not, and then make a decision from there.
Good enough.
Okay.
That's a motion.
But yes,
motion, I second that motion.
It's been moved and second. Any other discussion?
Yes, let me, as a friendly amendment to that, I would like also for the county attorney and the road manager to also investigate a similar situation on Hill Road. and that's a county road also that been blocked by a fence. A gate been put up. A gate been put up, and those individuals cannot get access to their property also. So they're asking that their gate be taken down, and it is a county road. Mr. Collins has already gone out there to measure to see whether or not the county road extend beyond the gate. So I'd like some follow-up also, and we've been asking for that for quite some time now, related to Hill Road. So as a friendly reminder that we will also, while looking at that particular one.
Can we take these separate?
You
I
may.
would rather do them separate. So we've got a motion and a second for, Sand Creek?
Yeah, West Sand Creek.
West Sand Creek. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Now you need a motion for Hill Road.
I need a motion for Hill Road for the board attorney and the road manager to come up with a conclusion in relation to Hill Road and get that gate removed also off of County Road.
I agree. I do have a little discussion about both of them because I'm trying to get this straight in my head. Is this the county's responsibility, or these the landowner's responsibility to get their own attorney to get their property surveyed and done instead of the county?
It's the county's responsibility.
Having to do that instead of the
It's
landowner.
the county's responsibility because the gate is across and blocking traffic on County Road. So you cannot block,
But I guess my
the
question
county
is,
road.
why don't we take them down until they tell us it's not our road?
Yeah.
Then they have to come and tell us it's not our road.
Well, until we, with all due respect, if we don't do it legally, somebody might get shot.
we need to do it.
But I'm just saying, but I do think that's legal. That if, you know, that if, then they need to come and prove it up and say that this is my property, that's not, I mean,
That
the county spend a lot of money on personal property problems when the people need to take care of their own personal property.
We need to get a legal ruling on it, however, so we know we are standing behind a good legal procedure to be able to first ask them to remove it. If they don't remove it, then we will have to remove it ourselves because a county road cannot be blocked. That's just all there is to it. Can't put a gate. Can't put a gate on a county road.
That's a great observation. I guess, and you ought to handle it, but the first thing needs to be determined if it is a county road. And we'll move forward from there. So, but that is a legitimate question, as to whether or not we need to try to solve that, if that needs to be solved through our attorney and appraisals and things of that nature. So,
do we have the permission to get a survey if needed? I'm not saying we do, I'm just asking. Do we have that permission?
I don't think you have to get a survey. I don't believe you will. Not on that.
Well, what it is on the road register, it gives the length of a road that was accepted.
Right.
And so that's what we go by. So the gate is within that, on Hill Road, the road extends about 200 feet past the gate.
That's right.
When I measure it, when I take the truck out and measure it, the gate stops me from making that last 200 feet. So that last 200 feet is in the register, and that's the only thing I can go by. I have to go by the road register. In that register, it says that road should be 200 feet past that gate.
So back to what we originally said, that the status of both these roads currently, they are county roads. Based on your length.
Based on the road register.
Okay,
yes.
So we'll start from right there. County roads can't be blocked, so that's a starting point. But we'll move forward. I mean, right now it says that those are public roads and public roads can't be blocked. So,
I can go ahead and send a letter out.
Did we get a motion on Hill Road?
yeah, we got a motion and a second. We need to carry. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Make sure I understand.
Next item on my report is the approval of a notice of special meeting to take place on the 19th of March here in this room.
I second.
Been moved by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Will be an executive section. We'll go into executive session.
We will have to go into closed session, decide if we go into executive session, but yes.
It's not open meeting.
It's not gonna be,
Yeah. Good.
because it involved the purchase of the hospital, we will be forced to move into executive session.
Okay.
Approval of, courthouse Memorial Day event. Mr. Jeff Donald, Chairman of the Military Affairs Committee to Historic Partnership, has requested access to the courthouse.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Approval of the master, service agreement with UH White. That is that group that was gonna do some grant management for us that did that big presentation. I wanted to bring the agreement before the board before I asked Marvell to sign it.
I think it's annual, right?
Yes.
I think we earned it's annual. Need a motion?
So move.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Williams. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion
I
passes.
was have a comment on that, but we got to release some, any kind of reservation I had. I got to meet this gentleman up in DC and, 35 years of community college experience and extremely knowledgeable. One of those individuals when you get through and meet and realize it's the next person in the field and, common experience I've had of utilizing this company. So they're gonna be very good at what they do. Very pleased to see what they can do for us.
I will make certain that it is a year.
Okay.
I will follow up on that.
Okay, there was motion by Supervisor, second by Supervisor Little, all in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Supervisor Carter.
Move approval.
Yeah, I move approval. Second. Change the clerk.
Wait a minute, we're going too fast.
Yes, slow down, because slow folks here.
So number 5.
Request board approval to attend the MCCA and MACAC conference. That's
On number 5, the approval, it was Trainer and Williams.
Joe Williams.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, I was just saying, thank you, Supervisor Carter, for the information.
Okay. Okay. All right, go ahead.
Number 6.
Item number 6.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Trainer. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
And this is for the MCCA, this is for the
Attend the conference.
right.
County Administrator, Comptroller, and Chancery Clerk.
Okay.
I mean, if we need anybody else, I don't know,
When did that come?
April.
coming up quick.
April 15th,
In regional.
April 15th through the 16th.
I'll ask senior board members if there's anything else that Mr. Carpenter needs to be attending. He and I kind of sat and, you know, I don't know if y'all know of any.
Actually, everything.
Everything that the
Talk
board
about it.
goes to.
Yeah, he needs to.
So, I mean, I'm not trying to overwhelm it, but it's I mean, you know, you got, of course, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on out there, everything really that you can handle, because I mean, it would be beneficial.
Yeah, so I was thinking, you know, your days and what you can handle being out, but I mean, I kind of told you that last week. I want to encourage you to go to anything that you think can improve your job performance and knowledge.
Well, I will be attending this one.
Okay.
Now that you've approved it. Item number 8, we already did number 7, that was the relocation of the North Starkville 3 tolling location. Moving on to item number 8, approval of the Massett Insurance renewal proposal. From 24 to 25, we did have an increase of $57,000. Primarily, most of that increase was due to just normal inflation, and then a little bit due to cybersecurity. They really,
Motion for approval.
Second.
Motion by Supervisor
Have a
Williams,
concern
second by
about
Supervisor Trainer.
Yeah.
Any other discussion?
That's an
It's from April
11%,
25 to
11%
March
increase, but we gotta have it.
We gotta have insurance.
Right.
And there's nobody who does a better job at providing that than the Massett. I'm telling y'all, they are doing a stand-up job.
That's right. That's right.
And our insurance man, Jason Ryder,
26.
he's top drawer.
Alright, all in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Next on my report is the market rent analysis for the Lynn Lane location. I discussed with you a few months ago my desire to enter into a lease agreement with the Mississippi Department of Human Services, Mississippi Department of Child Protection Services. This rent analysis is going to be one of the items that I need to get that started.
So move.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion?
Yeah, that's not gonna that's not gonna affect our local operation. I mean, the funds are those state funds, I believe.
We would draw down federal funds through the Mississippi Department of Human Services that would end up in our general fund.
That's right.
Later on, I'm gonna be presenting the invoice for payment for this.
Yeah.
So just know that that's coming.
That's good.
All in
Good.
favor? Motion passes unanimously.
All right, where did that thing go? Number 10, the Eastern Federal Land Access, I think it may be out of, no, that's the tribal.
That's the
Yeah, that's
flat
the
grant
flat.
application
The
that we
flat.
approved
Yeah,
last
flat
time.
grant.
Is it in y'all's package?
No, just this.
Okay, that's the piece of puzzle I'm missing.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
it, make a motion.
it is important that we resubmit.
Yes, sir.
We did some minimal base repair, and we still need some additional base repair. We need to overlay and stripe it, and there's still some flooding areas on that road, and some ditching that need to be done. So there's plenty more work to be done on that particular road.
The order that I'm needing is for us to authorize our engineer, Mr. Pritchard, and our road manager, Mr. Collins, to prepare a scope of work in accordance with that direction, Supervisor Williams, and work up a project estimate on that.
Motion for approval.
Second.
Been moved by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Trainer. All in favor? Motion passes.
And we have until, that thing's due May the 2nd, so we need to move pretty judiciously on it. Need to move quick. Item number 11. I've provided a number of invoices for your review.
No, we're on payroll changes. Is that right?
No.
We're on 11.
Not yet. We're getting there though.
Make a motion that we pay these invoices.
Second.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Make a motion, we approve the payroll change.
Wait. I got a walk on I want to ask right in the middle between these two. On Friday, I received a request for payment on a APAC invoice payout number 1 for Maven Sturgis Road, and that's that paving that's going on out there. It didn't get to me in time to get it in this packet.
Well, they're not finished with that yet.
This is the first pay request, right?
That's right.
This is the first pay request.
You gotta have a little operating money.
I get a little tight. I know we don't want to stop them.
That asphalt get expensive.
Need a motion for that? Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
All right, payroll changes.
You got motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Williams that we do payroll changes. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
And then I don't know if item number 13, no, it didn't get in there. So I got a walk-on, came in here at 10 p.m. on Friday night.
That sounds like next board meeting.
I know, right? But the problem is it's got a pretty tight suspense on it, so I wanted to give y'all an opportunity. This is at Pickering, what's that gentleman's name?
Jeff Baldwell.
Jeff Baldwell sent that in here Friday evening. He's been working hard trying to get this grant application updated. If you provide that back to me, I accidentally gave out all my copies. So with your approval, we'll submit this application. We would have an opportunity to accept it later if you're uncomfortable with the amount of time that you've had to
This is
review it.
6.7 mile on Crawford Road, enhanced rural connectivity project, and we're applying for a grant that has a deadline on it.
Yes, like April or March 18th. He said we had to have it signed by tomorrow.
We better approve it today.
And this will also impact Robinson Road too.
We've had a discussion about this,
Yeah.
and we authorized him to work up this application for the same project that we did in the previous year, so.
Yeah, involving Crawford Road.
That's right.
Motion for approval on this project, and we submit for the grant.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
I've got one last walk-on that I received late last week. I think I got it from Ricky on Friday. Miss Patty, all of the easement right-of-way work for Sanders Bridge, I just wanted to report to the board that that's all been signed. Everything's ready to go. I'm gonna ask Supervisor Howard, Supervisor Howard's already signed it. I'm gonna be forwarding that to the Tombigbee River Valley Waterway District.
Didn't you already send it?
I have not sent it yet, no ma'am. I just wanted to let this board know. I did email it to him and ask him to look at it to make sure that all of what looks like all of the many signatures were in the right place.
You sent that to Brad Stevens?
It's gonna go to, what's that man's name?
Richard.
Yeah, Richard Harry. And I also was
just to
say, I was
approached by them, and a lot of projects that we have dealing with our bridges, that's for us, a lot of head walls and a lot of these big culverts. We need to identify those projects and get with them. And he informed me that other counties are actually using them to do a lot of this work that we end up having to do ourselves. So we can get a lot more bang for our buck if we identify these projects and get them laid out there where they can take a look at them.
So I guess our engineer was supposed to be putting something together, but I'm gonna suggest, Mr. Collins, if you have time to move forward and identify these bridges that need that work, I think that's gonna expedite what we need to do.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And he did give me a scope of work of pretty well what they can and cannot do. And so I'm gonna get back. I told him I would talk to you all, and I'm sorry it slipped my mind until now. But I did tell him I would bring it to you all, and then we would act on it, and that would actually help out the county part of the county workers to get some of this work expedited over to them and get some stuff done.
Well, because we just identified another bridge over in my district week before last, so it's just a ton of bridge issues that we got going here.
They have volunteered, and we met out on Skinner Road. Mr. Collins, I believe you might remember that we met out on Skinner Road, and they offer their service on that road. Of course, they gonna be doing the work, but we of course still have to pay for the material. And but that's gonna take a lot of work off our workers. You're exactly right. So I hope we'll start using their services.
Yes, And that gives our people a lot more time to be doing other stuff.
That's correct.
So-
So slow up on this stuff, just so y'all are aware, usually is me, it's making sure the easements are correct, so I don't want y'all to think that sometimes it's not Victor that's sometimes the problem, it's making sure we've gotten all of the signatures on it. So if it does come to a stall, that's probably where it's at, just giving you a heads up.
So, Mr. Collins, while you're doing this, would you prioritize the most dangerous, unsafe ones?
Yes, sir.
And then that's how we can work it going forward.
Yes, sir. We've got quite a few that we need to address some head wall issues on and stuff like that. I think one came to, I believe, your attention the other day. Mark brought it to your attention, and it's something work needs to be done on it also. So it's a lot of work that needs to be done, and if we can get help with it, it would be mostly appreciated by the road department anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right.
Anything else from our county administrator?
Yeah.
I'll let you do.
So for your questions, that concludes my report, Mr. President.
All right. Motion to acknowledge.
Motion
Motion by Supervisor Little, second by Supervisor Williams. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, we're down, our Chancery Clerk. Okay. We're now down to our Board Attorney, Attorney Robinson.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. We do have if y'all will remember, Ms. Bishop came in here about her tax issue that she has. She has gotten I assume that there are a group of outfits with Ole Miss Law School that helps, what they consider indigent, not people who can't pay for attorneys, that they have filed a lawsuit against us for the tax assessor for this particular issue that we ran into with her.
Ms. Martin.
Oh, Ms. Martin, okay.
Yeah, Ms. Martin.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I got it, okay.
I'm
I was
sorry.
just, I sort of threw me off though.
I thought everything was settled with her.
Well, it was from my standpoint, but she's decided to pursue additional legal action.
Correct.
You know how they do that, so how you have to respond.
I have reached out to the attorney that's over these young people that are helping her. I haven't heard back from her yet. The question is, and I need to ask for permission to work on this particular case for the taxes office. Somebody's got to.
Somebody got to do it.
So I've got to reach out. I've already reached out to them because I wanted more information to see whether or not there was something else going on there. Because I've had a long conversation with her. I hope that we're able to get this flushed out, but I do need permission if that is what your wishes are.
Motion for permission to let our board attorney move forward with doing the research and doing what needs to be done to follow up on that situation.
Well, I was gonna say, I think there was some other issues with all of that. So if we're gonna go forward with a lawsuit on that, I think all the other issues need to be brought forward and rectified.
I don't disagree with that assessment.
Motion by Supervisor Williams. You need a second?
Okay.
Second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion?
Just a question, what was the dollar value that she's inquiring about?
I'm rounding up, but this was under $3,000 when it was all said and done.
So it's just gonna come down to who gonna get the 3,000? Well,
now
you
that
gonna
being
get it or what
said,
you gonna get it?
It's gonna hurt her because it goes further back than that, a lot, where they should have.
Well, I'm just, the board understands the dynamics of,
Yeah.
it's gonna cost us some money, either way.
Yeah, to pay attorney fees.
But I truly think that that's the principal thing, because how many other people are gonna come up here and do this? All these situations need to be handled through the tax assessor's office, not brought to the board. Because we don't have any control over that.
But I understand.
That's over at, that's the other office. But if we're gonna be sued and we're gonna take it, I'd like to have all the county money.
Well, I'm going through a situation right now about the tax office that I've gotta get Rob involved in.
And I'm not saying we won't win, but it's gonna cost us.
But we're making a lot more money back.
Well, you had to go on that person's bond, on that person who was responsible for it. And then that's another issue, but hey, I know we have to do what we gotta do, because we managing other people's resources, but man, it just can't.
There's more things to consider about this case than we need to talk about in a public session.
Right.
But, to Supervisor Little's point, there's some other prior years that might be involved.
Well, we've got a motion and a second on the table. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
I think that we were very good.
That's all I, and if there's another issue.
Just whenever you get a chance to get caught up, and just kind of give us after the session, whenever, give us an overview of all these other outstanding loose ends that we've been trying to tie up. Just kind of, want updates on some of those things. We'd like to go today.
If y'all are good with me handling some of the stuff that we're dealing with in whether it be the tax office or the chancery office, I'm good with it. I just need to make certain it was okay before I do anything.
Okay.
Go ahead. Before our county administrator move from his seat, would you consider giving us an update on the availability of funds for a supervisor, and maybe the other supervisors not concerned about how much funds they have left, since we're getting ready to get into some good weather.
I'll get that together for you. And if I don't have to do it as a formal thing, I'll get it to y'all individually. I hope to have it by Wednesday.
You're talking about percentage of funds of
of your bond. He's wanting a summary of how much bond money.
Yeah, and I kind of came to you last week and I asked him about that. How, where the city kind of would keep a rolling graph of the year, either pie graph or line graph or something to let you know where everybody's at in the process. If it's 62%, are they over budget, under budget, projected on a 12-month? And then you brought me, how many departments does the county have? I didn't even know that question. He gave me this, and it's 20. I mean, if you're going to look at it that way, it could be 20 plus departments. I was surprised. And so I mentioned your name. If this would be a time, something maybe he could help, y'all could work together and get 4 times a year. I'd like to know where our departments are sitting, on what they've been doing. Are they overspending, underspending? I don't think the county's ever gotten to that point yet.
I do know a lot of other counties get like a report once a month. I don't know, I'd asked for it before, and ours is just on green paper right now. But where we know where each, like when somebody comes and asks, hey, I want X, Y, Z. Well, we know they only got X, Y, Z left in the budget. Right. That's there.
And Mr. Carpenter was working on a process as to where that would help us along.
Yeah, I don't have any, I don't want to make any excuses. Y'all deserve that. And it's my intent to get to a position where I can provide that to you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
I think you're doing a good job so far. You've already given us some helpful information. But I was just looking forward to this update, and that doesn't have to be done right away, really. But
it does need to be done, and I'm going to make it a priority of mine. And I hope that I will have that available for the Wednesday meeting. And it won't be nothing special now. It'll just tell you where you are in spending your money so far.
That's good.
And it won't be the budget that y'all are talking about. This is just your budgeted bond money and your $200,000, your capital projects money.
Okay, we're now down to our supervisor's business, starting with District 4, Supervisor Little.
No, things are rolling right along. We just need a lot of good weather.
District 1, Supervisor Carl.
I was going to tell you that Kristen Campanella and her office put on a very safe environment Saturday. Went by there and helped them set up, and everybody in there, they kind of start around the wall and they build out the tables, and as the time comes, I didn't know it's 1,500 or 12 to 1,500 capacity. I would say it's 250 to 300. So that is becoming more and more utilized as the years go on and people know about it. And second, that back to that Maven Fire Department, who's got Maven? On the, I think it's Saturday. They have chili cooking. Mr. Yateman's asked that I would, share that with y'all, and I know we know.
You'll be calling?
Patrick, he's gonna send a notice up.
Yeah.
So you said it's worth buying it. All right, we'll take your word on it.
That's all.
District 2, Supervisor.
When you get a chance, I'm gonna send you all an email about another opportunity that I discovered when we were at NACO, and it's called the NACO Edge program. And I think this will be something that will be of interest to us because it helps us to make some better decisions as it relates with our funding and our money, cash flows, and some other things. So I'm gonna send you all an email on it, get a chance to look at it, and possibly maybe go a step further to maybe set up a Zoom or something to get the NACO representative to talk to us about it. I know your plate's already full. Everybody's plate's always full. But when these opportunities come by, you have to kind of take advantage of it. But I'm gonna send it to everybody, to Rob, B, everybody that's in the county. And that way you can kind of look at it. If it's something I think that will help Activity Hall as it relates to being better money managers and taking advantage of things that could possibly bring some new revenue that we just kind of lay on the table because we're not able to keep up with all the stuff we got going on. I mean, it's some counties have some real good testimonials about doing certain things. And this is a program endorsed by NACO. And so what that does is we're a member of NACO. We need to be utilizing all the avenues and opportunities out there. And without NACO, I mean, these counties and really the country would be in a bad shape because NACO is right there at the table drafting legislation and being a voice for counties and just doing some great stuff. So, but we appreciate the opportunity to go because I know when we go to NACO, it costs the county money to send us, and I think we need to take advantage of every opportunity that we can by being associated with NACO and the Mississippi Association of Cooperatives. And you see with our insurance deal, that's our insurance program. Massive. We're not, that money's not going to Zurich or Travelers or whatever. That belongs to us. And so we didn't have to increase, but I can bet your bottom dollar if you get out there and you scout around and you find out that that's still the best product out there. But we appreciate y'all's support.
Yeah, it's a bargain at twice the price. I mean, and I can't express to y'all how responsive those people are. I mean, they're not just providing us insurance; they're providing us good service. And as many wheels as we got on the ground, and many folks running around pumping into stuff and throwing rocks here, there, and yonder, it's a relief to have such good support.
But that's my report.
District 5, Supervisor Wood.
Well, the use of the safe room, and it has become increasingly popular. The rural study of the University of Mississippi Medical Center, a rural study, we used the safe room on the 29th of March. Now, those people do a lot of good service for individuals in our county and surrounding counties, because individuals come to that function and they ask questions about health concerns. And I attended the last one, and it was well attended. So individuals want to know something about their particular health concerns, they can ask questions there. The reason why I'm making these comments is that they feel as if the safe room is somewhat not upkept. And they are requesting that some additional cleaning services be done that maybe hadn't been done in the past. Because they're going to be individuals, a great deal of individuals attending this event. They're going to be from other surrounding counties, and they're going to come in to see what we had to offer. So I think we do a good job with upkeep of our safe room, but maybe we can do a little better for this particular event because it will be well attended. So I don't know how to get someone in to maybe get some of the cones that we haven't gotten in the past and check it out real good.
So what were some of the things they identified?
They just thought that it wasn't they just thought it wasn't clean as they thought it was.
Was it the bathrooms?
But I don't know, but I can get some specifics. But just general cleaning and making sure, I would go through it, making sure everything is great.
Right now, the maintenance or the cleaning is being handled by what trustee?
Yeah, that's, being handled by Wayne Yates.
Maybe
That's what I was gonna say. I will talk with Darryl.
Yeah.
And the last time I was in that building, I thought it looked very presentable. I wouldn't have worried about anybody coming in that building and that was just a few weeks ago. But I will have a look at it and I will discuss with Darryl, your desire that this facility be ready for March of 29th. And I think that they'll be able to take a look at it.
That would be a minimal request.
It never hurts to clean something real good.
Just walk through it and make sure everything is presentable.
Yes.
Yeah.
But do let Darryl know we appreciate
Yes.
the
I will.
upkeep that he has been doing
I will.
on that building down there. We don't want those things to turn into a matter of interpretation.
Right. Well, I was just in that building 3 weeks ago. I'm telling you, it looked great. I mean, the bathroom.
You're not referring to maybe the
But there's always a room for
outside. The inside has always been clean.
The outside's always been an issue though.
The grass maybe not.
There's always room for improvement, so we just look around and see whether or not there are some improvement that could be done. Let's make those improvements.
Yes, sir.
Simple request.
Is that it from District 5?
No. There's a vacancy on the Occidental County Economic Development Board for District 5. So I'm gonna, motion that we add Frank Nichols on the Occidental County Economic Development Board as a representative of District 5.
Second.
It's been moved by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Trainer, that Frank Williams be added Frank Nichols be added to the Economic Development Board.
What's the term on that board? Do we know?
I think it's 4 years, I believe.
Just from a housekeeping standpoint, I don't think it might have been my first to see the. Is that something that's been opened up, or do we have other applicants? Is that our only applicant? Is that something we opened up and had an applicant, or is that something that each board member makes a recommendation?
Each board member makes a recommendation.
So it's all discretion.
There are some other vacancies on that. One other vacancy, but you're right there. Each board member would.
I have been trying to get a complete list of all of the appointments, whether it be the hospital board, the airport board, the library board, the.
You just call the CAO's office, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. The Unity Park Committee, the OC, the board, and I mean, we appoint a lot of folks to a lot of different things, and I'm getting closer, but I'm still rounding them up here, there, and yonder. So I'm gonna go double check this, and I guess what I'm saying is I thought that I had checked OCEDA, and I didn't remember seeing that Mr. Nichols was getting ready to come off. And it could be.
That's not that. He's not coming off. He's going on. We had
Who's he
someone to
replacing?
retire.
Do
He
you know?
retired Miss Taylor.
Miss Taylor.
Miss Taylor was on the board and she retired.
Which Miss Taylor is that?
Shaq Taylor's mother. What's her name?
Helen Taylor.
Helen Taylor. That's
Do we have like
5
appointments or 2 appointments or on OCEDA? How many representatives? County has 5.
Did we ever resolve the little challenge that we had after we did redistricting? Johnny Cook's?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I know there has been increasingly discussion about opening these positions up to accept applications. And I'm not opposed to that. But we hadn't resolved that.
What happened was Johnny passed away, but my appointee is in your district now.
Right, right.
And so I guess that would leave, I don't know if it would leave it open in my district, or, well, we just need to get it resolved. How we
Okay,
do it.
we'll have.
So they have a full functioning board, because you got the mayors that are on that board too.
Right.
I think 3 mayors on that board, and 5 appointees or something.
So it's 8.
I think it's 3
So,
mayors.
Ms. Taylor didn't complete her term, or did she complete her term and then
She just resigned and then she.
asked not to be reappointed? Just trying to figure out these terms, it's really, and when you read these board orders, we don't do a good job of saying from this date to this date, you know, and so you find a board order and it says, completing the term of so-and-so, well, I can't find the board order where so-and-so was, nor do I know how long the terms are, and it gets confusing.
Contact Mike Taggart, he can give you what you don't see.
Okay.
And we've had a vacancy, District 5 has had a vacancy for quite some time.
Okay.
It has been some time now since Ms. Taylor retired.
We got a motion and a second for appointment of Frank Nichols on the OCEDA board. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Anything else from District 5?
No, don't have any.
Nothing from District 3.
Motion we recess.
Motion by Supervisor,
The Wednesday now.
until
The 19th.
19th, yeah. Motion by Supervisor, Trainer, second by Supervisor Howard. All in discussion? Go ahead.
On the 19th meeting, that's OCHRPs, we're not opening bids or anything at that point, are we? This is
Yes,
just-
sir. They are bringing the bids, and they will present the people that applied. Now, I'm not certain.
How many bids have we had? 2?
We've had multiple. Until they are presented and opened and presented, we will not know how many we've had.
I mean, if people call me, I give them Johnny Healy number.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, at this point, they hadn't released that. So it will be more or less a reading out.
We will find out Wednesday. That's the point of this meeting.
This is bid opening.
This is the bid opening, that's correct.
And I'm assuming it's just this is for the board. The trustees not gonna be on there. I wouldn't be. I think it's just the board.
It's set for 9 a.m. right?
Yes,
This is just for the board. The hospital
the hospital board will
Right,
be
no.
This is for us.
The special meeting is set for 9 a.m. This recess meeting.
That's
for
right.
Wednesday.
This is just information. We won't make any decisions about any of the information that we receive.
According to the timeline, once we open the bid, they're gonna get full disclosure and full information, because they've only been given a limited, you know, to make a better decision. And is that what y'all remember of that?
So I think Mr. Healy's gonna tell us, did they meet the minimum requirements or did they not? And anybody who met the minimum requirements as defined by the RFP will move to the next phase, which is gonna involve setting up some opportunities to talk to Mississippi State and the hospital board and some other organizations, and then from there, they will submit a final proposal, which this board will then review and make a selection.
It's been moved and seconded to recess until 9 a.m. Wednesday morning. All in favor? Motion passes. We're now recess. Mr. Kaufman, I'll give you until tomorrow to get all my signing papers so we don't miss anything.
Okay.
And then I'll